Hi YouTube, thanks for watching. So it seems that they have another idea to fix this here debt crisis, right? Let me show it to you. It's pretty interesting. Gold-backed bonds, an alternative to a European austerity. This is a super long article, so let me just get to what they're mentioning here. Just a suggestion, you know, it's nothing in stone yet, but it's a decent suggestion. The World Gold Council and leading academics and international think tanks believe that using a portion of a nation's gold reserves to back sovereign debt will lower sovereign debt yields and give some of the Eurozone's most distressed countries time to work on economic reform and recovery. According to research done by World Gold Council, using the European gold reserves as collateral for new sovereign debt issues would mean that without selling an ounce of gold, Eurozone countries could raise $413 billion. This is over 20% of Italy's and Portugal's 2-year borrowing requirements. And it's interesting because it goes on to say about how this proposal alone shows how people are seeing metals as a safe haven more and more now, and the people who've been saying that metals are safe havens and that fiat is junk aren't seemingly so crazy anymore. But, you know, this is a good, you know, was a good idea, because the only problem with this, at least they're thinking, at least it's not just, we'll add debt, right? The only problem with this is now you got to get every country to agree to audit their gold, which is not going to happen because they've been trying for that for a long time anyway. And then if they did absolutely somehow go along with that, they'd have to report the results. And we all know that the gold that they say is not the gold. It's not what they have. They're reporting a completely different number than what they own. So, hey, at least it's not more debt on top of debt. But what I want to show you is this World Gold Council, right? This just came out yesterday. It's not been confirmed anywhere, but as you can see, there's all these different news sources reporting that apparently the World Gold Council is confirming that China is backing their yuan with gold. And if that's the case, everyone, that's a game changer. That's gonna really destroy the US dollar, and it's gonna cause a whole lot of problems. But I went on the actual World Gold Council, it's gold.org, that's their website. They didn't mention it on there, but maybe this is real close to breaking. They just don't want to post it yet. I don't know, but there is a whole lot of different news sources reporting this, but nothing like a Reuters or a Zero Hedge yet. But I'm going to keep my eye out because I want to show something. This, you know, we've talked about this a lot, and I understand that, and I have been wrong about when I really thought this was going to happen. But at the same time, I just saw something from Zero Hedge talking about how the Fed intervened 81% in the stock market last year. So this thing is absolutely, nobody knows when this thing is going to crash, because only them who are pulling the strings, like I've said, are the ones who know when it's going to crash. If they're intervening 81% of the time, that means, like I said, I mean, we all know they're in control anyway, but I mean, this is absolutely only up to them. Nobody except for maybe Ben Bernanke and all the other elitist Illuminati jerks out there knowing this is going to take place. None of us, not me, not you, no one's going to know until it happens. But I want to show you this. I made this post August 11th of last year, right? And this was one of the more recent Lindsey Williams interviews, and he talks about the crash, remember? And this was his 4 things he said in August of last year were going to happen before the crash happened. You're going to see crack in the derivatives market, which we did see already by the time he mentioned that. But he mentioned that before, and I also have proof of that too, how he mentioned this was going to happen first, and this was like back in February of 2012, and I have proof of all this. So he said this is going to happen, and it did. The currency wars were going to start happening. Then you're going to see trade wars, and then the last and final thing that you're going to see are interest rates rise. Okay, now we've seen all sorts of stuff come out of the derivatives thing because of JP Morgan, all this kind of stuff. Now, if you go here, you'll see Zero Hedge, which they've been reporting it like crazy. Next up in the currency wars, Korea, and they've been talking currency wars a whole lot the last several months. And then if you even go, oh, there was somewhere else. Oh, there was yeah. It's now we got Soros at a big, huge meeting just now. This was reported well yesterday, but a couple days ago or whatever, that he's seeing interest rates taking a big leap, and he thinks it's going to be towards the end of the year. And here's even another report on the same thing, saying, or on the same, you know, the same conference that he spoke at a different news source, saying he thinks interest rates are likely to rise. And if you even go here and do the search, you'll see Soros says the euro's here to stay as currency war looms. So we're seeing more and more reports of currency wars everywhere. So time to look out for this next, because they're already talking about this. but interest rates raising. So I don't know if this is going to be, you know, this is also like, you know, I've said this is the Lindsey Williams test. You know, people say he's a shill, people say don't listen to him. That's what we're testing right now. I've even had people say, well, he's full of shit, don't listen to him. This is what I'm talking about right now. We are going to test that 100% right now. Because back in October, 2 months after he talked about this, he said 6 to 8 months from October of last year that the dollar is going to be dead, that it's dead and we don't even know it. And I can see maybe where he's coming from, because these things are happening. Minus the trade wars, but I've seen mention of trade wars. It's just not as common as currency wars. But all these things seem to be taking place. And also the QEs that we've had, the QE infinite, all these different countries dropping the dollar. So we'll see. 6 to 8 months from October of last year would put it, well, let's just put it June of this year. Let's just put it till summer. And we'll see. And if he's full of shit, then we're done mentioning him. We're done talking about him. We're done listening to anything he says. But as of right now, it literally does seem like he's right on track. And I don't know how much longer it's going to be till we start hearing about this. The trade war is really taking effect, and more talk of the interest rates raising, but it must be somewhere close to, because I also want to mention this. I don't know if you guys watch the Ticker guy. He's on TV every once in a while. I dig his stuff. I dig this website. He reports here, this was just a couple days ago. What day? I don't, I thought it was just a couple days. Yesterday, as a matter of fact. Well, there you go. More truth on CNBC. Now check this out. Something has a, and basically he's referencing this graph because they're basically saying on CNBC, I guess they show this graph, and this is quantitative easing and the GDP, and as you can see, this putting more money into the system, adding more debt isn't changing the GDP, because the red line's the GDP, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so as you can see, the more debt they put into the system, the GDP doesn't change, so obviously it's not working, their whole quantitative easing policy. But anyway, something officially changed, folks. There is now a veritable flood of people on the Bubble Vision TV that are talking about the reality of leverage application and its unsustainability. Once something reaches mainstream media currency, then becomes a thing that can no longer be avoided or evaded. Roughly 6 years into this for the ticker, we are finally seeing something approaching the recognition of reality. The level of spending must come down to the level of income. Yep, and he goes on and on. But you see my point here? He's saying, wow, all of a sudden on CNBC, for whatever reason, they're starting to kind of come to the light, starting to see reality. So does that mean that we are approaching the dreaded date of the crash? I don't know, but a lot of weird, a lot of crazy, a lot of interesting timing right now with all these different stories that are coming out. So I'm going to keep my cussing eye on this here gold-backed Yuan, or how the hell you say it. And I will report as soon as I find out this is official, because as far as I think anybody would admit that this is the real deal, then we're going to definitely start seeing some sort of monetary system change in a big way. So I'll put all these links below. Thanks to everyone for watching. Appreciate each and one of my subscribers out there. Special thanks to all of you. See you on the next one. Bye.